cord. Anybody guess what I used this for? I used it to get a lot of food. What is it?
It's something that you fling around with.
No,
Fishing hook?
it's a fishing line. He's talking about a bowl. And there's the hook on there. And what's that hook made out of? It's made out of a bone, isn't it? Now, I don't think it takes too much imagination for you to see that I took a wishbone like this from a bird. Huh? All right, it wasn't a turkey, something smaller. And I cut one side short, and then I glued it on there with pine pitch again. And I caught fish with this thing, huh? All right. Cordage, very, very important, all right, for everything. All right, let's put the fishing line back away. All right. And we use some bones there, all right? Let's talk about bones here for a while. All right, here's another deer bone. You can see where this went right in there, huh? Okay. Now, when we sew clothing and things like this, we sew in a very different way than modern people do, okay? We need a tool to make holes in the leather here. And I think you can see very easily, I scratched 2 scratches like a shallow S with a piece of flint in here. And it took a long time. I scratched and scratched and scratched that shape. Then I did it on the other side. Right there, you can pick that up going through that thing. Hang on to that for a second. All right? And if I keep scratching that for about another hour, I'm going to end up with 2, and you can see how that would happen, can't you? I'm going to end up with 2 of these piercing tools, all right? There they are, okay? And they're called awls, A-W-L. You don't have to worry about that. And what I did when I made my clothing, I'm not going to do it now, is I made a hole in the leather, and then another hole, and then maybe 3 or 4, and then I took a piece of leather and put it through there, made some more holes. So that's how they did their sewing, huh? With awls. I have another sewing tool here that's kind of different. There it is. You know what this would be on a deer, don't you?
Yeah.
It would be his rib, huh? Rib bone. We have rib bones too, okay? And I don't think it takes too much imagination for you to see that I could make this needle from a deer's rib. I would have to cut it off in 2 places, right? With a piece of flint. I don't even have to cut it all the way through. I just have to make a weak spot and snap it off and then sharpen it up on the stone over there. Oh, and I need to do something else. Make a hole in it. That is not so easy. All right, we're back to cutting again. We'll talk about that in a minute. There's a cattail mat on the ground here that you can see. I use that cattail mat. I use this needle to make that cattail mat, and I'll show you how. It's very simple. I'll grab some cattails right here. There's a couple of them, okay? And here's a strip of a cattail. You saw me make that with my fingernails before. I'm going to put that right through, the eye of the needle, and I'm going to push this right through the cattail in one side, out the other. Another cattail in one side, out the other. All right, and just pull it through. All right. And I had to do that about 100 times to make this mat wide. Then I do it down here, and down here 4 times, and that's how I made that mat, huh? But I needed to make a hole to make this kind of needle. Let's talk about that. So here's a little flint tool, and I call this a thumb drill, all right? It's pointed on the end, and I use my thumb to press it into my finger. I make it go back and forth and kind of halfway around like this, okay? All right? If somebody would like to make a hole for me with the thumb drill, would you like to? All right, so get yourself comfortable back here, and anywhere you want, just twist this and you make a hole with that, all right? But you can work at that. How many pieces on that thumb drill? I know it has a cord on it, but that's just so I can find it. It's really one piece, isn't it? All right, so while she's busy doing that, now that I know how to use cordage, I'm going to do something else. I'm just going to grab a stick here, and there's a piece of cordage wrapped around this stick. I'll save that. How's it coming? Pretty good? All right, we're halfway through yet? When she's halfway through, what can she do, of course? Turn it upside down, drill from the other side. Okay, she's doing all right. All right, I'm going to take this stick here, and I'm going to take a piece of flint, and I'm going to split the stick. Not too much to that. Pretty easy, huh? Do it. All right, now I got a split in the stick. Okay. And let's put those aside. All right, I got a stick and a piece of cordage, 2 pieces, right? Let's see if I can find another piece of flint. I want to sharpen this up a little bit. Okay. How you doing on that? Are you through there yet? Show it, hold it up and show everybody and point to your hole, okay? Yeah, she's making a little bit of a hole, isn't she? All right, I'm going to sharpen this thing up here. All right, we talked about sharpening the flint with the deer antler, no problem. We know all about that. Okay. Anybody know what I'm making? What do you think? Anybody?
An arrow.
Everybody says an arrowhead. If I tie it on an arrow, yes, it's an arrowhead. I'm going to tie it on this very short stick here, okay? All right. This is another piece of cordage. It's from the bark of a tree, the inside bark, okay? How you doing on that hole? You through yet? It's getting deeper. All right, I'm going to push this right in here. Tie it on as tight as I can. Okay, that's pretty good. Tie it down here so I don't split the stick. All right, how's that hole coming? You halfway through? She's a little deeper. Okay, now I'm going to spin this between my palms. All right? All right, let's see how you're doing in the hole. I see the hole she's got? All right, hang on to that piece of wood for me there, okay? She worked at that for a couple of minutes, didn't she? In a couple of seconds, I'm almost halfway through. This is called a palm drill. But how many pieces is it? The head, 1, the shaft, 2, the cordage, 3. You may say, this is a lot better. It was a lot more trouble to make, though, wasn't it? Huh? So you have to make choices between simple things and more complicated things. All right, thank you very much. All right, I'm going to leave these here for a second. Now, you might not have thought this palm drill was very good unless I showed you the thumb drill first. They're both important, huh? I have another drill too. Let me show you what that is. When I spin this palm drill, it stops almost right away, doesn't it? Well, I have another drill here. And I put a piece of slate stone on here. Now it took me a couple of hours to drill this hole here with the palm drill. But once I put it on here, it spins and keeps going, doesn't it? All right. And I drilled another hole. This took me another hour or 2 through this crossbar. And then this all-important stuff on top is what? Cordage. Now let's count the number of pieces on this thing, though. Point is 1, the shaft is 2, the flywheel is 3, the crossbar is 4, and the cord is 5. This is a very complicated drill, a lot of trouble to make, but if you have it, you should use it.
That looks like a bow and arrow one.
Okay, well maybe it does, but it doesn't work like one. Now when I press down, this unwinds, all right? I'm going to drill a new hole here, all right? And if I let back up, just as it gets to the bottom, it rewinds itself, and this is called a pump drill. And that made a hole even faster than the palm drill, okay? Goes very fast, all right? But it's complicated. I'm going to use this for something else. I'm curious if we can cut a piece of slate stone with a piece of flint. What would that depend on? Depends on which one is harder. Sorry, let me try that out. I'm going to take that piece of flint I had before. Here's another. I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to scratch the slate stone here. And I'm going to see if I can saw into it. Well, it looks to me like it's working. Sorry. Oh, this dulled up my flint too. The flint's a little harder than the slate, huh? Do I have to saw all the way through this? No. If I only scratch a line on it, and then get one right there, and then step on it, maybe I can break it right where I scratch the line. Because that line is a weak spot, all right? This thing doesn't fall over. Maybe I'll do it all right. I did break it. I broke it almost right along the line. Most of it, not all of it, huh? There's another piece right there. But I can smooth this out with my sandstone here and make it look kind of pretty if I want, all right? I can make this as smooth as I want to. All right, looking pretty nice here. So the flint stone will cut slate stone because the slate stone is softer. That's all it depends on. All right, I wonder if I can drill a hole in this. Well, if I can cut it with the flint, I can drill a hole with the flint probably, can't I? All right, I'm going to make an X on here to show my drill where to start. And let's try and drill this piece of slate stone. All right, here we go. This is called a pump drill because I'm pumping it, all right? That went pretty fast. Okay, sorry about that. I'll blow it that way next time. Okay, I'm halfway through. Now, when I'm halfway through, watch what I do. I'm going to look at the hole and look underneath and try to make a mark. I'm going to turn it halfway around, look at the hole, look underneath, and make another mark. I have a new X, all right, to drill from the other side. Now, as hard as I try, I'm probably going to not get that exactly in the same spot. And when people called archaeologists find things Indians made and they find holes like this, the two sides of the holes are never perfectly right in line. They're off a little bit. And that's how they know Indians made it, not some guy with a drill from the hardware store. All right? So let's drill on this side and see what we get. All right. Wind it up. Pump again. Yep. Wants to jump around a little bit. This side of the slate isn't flat. All right, there we go. I got it started, no problem. Well, I just broke through. There's the hole. Can you see it? Now, I might break this easily if I'm not careful, all right? So I'm going to use a drill that's easier on things. What kind of drill do you think I'm going to use? I'm going to go right back to that thumb drill, okay? And then finish the hole. So these drills are still important. They're just not as powerful. All right, what do they do with that piece of cordage that we made? Yeah, I hung it up here. All right, so let's take this. All right. And I'm going to thread this cordage right through here. I'm wearing on my neck a little ornament, huh? It's got a symbol on here that's my symbol, all right? It doesn't do anything. It's just like jewelry, okay? All right, I'm going to thread this through here and make something that you can take back to your school and you can show the other classes and you can brag that you actually helped me make this, all right? All right, I'm going to tie this off. There. All right. And can the two classes share this? Maybe you can hang it in one class one day, one class another day.
Our classes are right next door, so we can hang it right between
Beautiful.
our two doors.
All right, and
All three of the best.
they are, all right. And I can scratch something on here. Why don't I, instead of a message, why don't I put today's date on here? So this is October 25th, right? All right, and I can scratch it with the flint because the flint is harder. You knew about that already. All right, it's October 25. And we'll put the year, what is it, 2011. All right. Okay, do you want to take that?
Sure.
All right, you can
Thank
take that back with you. All right, so we used quite a few tools, didn't we, huh? The thing that kids usually find fun is when I show them how some of my hunting weapons work. We actually can do that now if you want. In the few minutes we have left, I'm going to put a glove on so I don't hurt my fingers. Everybody knows what this is. You're familiar with it. It's a bow for shooting arrows. Right? And again, it was made the same way with flint tools, scraping the wood, a very strong piece of cordage, twist and counter twist. All right? And I'm not going to shoot that deer hunting arrow that I had out here before. I'm going to shoot one that won't go as far. It's got big feathers because it's for shooting at birds. It goes fast at first, but then it slows down. And I'm going to walk past the trees where you can see me. And I'll just shoot this out into the field so you can see it.
Okay, where you at, boys and girls? So make sure that all of you can
You guys see
see.
me? Right over that
We
sign.
can see it.
I could shoot it a lot further, but I don't want to go chase the thing. Now, there's another weapon I have here that I never would have thought about when I was
Boys
a
and
little
girls,
kid.
attentive listening, please. Go back on your bottom so you can all see.
Yep, stay down there. Right. Here are a couple of spears I have that are, this is a very heavy spear. When I use this, I have to hang on to it. Now, these are very light spears, and they're so light, they're hard to throw. And even if I try to throw this thing down this way, you'll find that I can't throw it very far, even though I'm a pretty good spear thrower. That's as far as I can throw it. Now, somebody a long time ago got the idea that maybe if my arm was longer, tied my thing on here, didn't I? Maybe if my arm was longer, I could throw the spear better. And they invented this thing. That makes my arm a lot longer, almost double, and it's got a little hook on here, and that hook goes in to a hole I drilled in here and tied with cordage, so the hole won't split open. And this will go a lot further. All right? I'm going to walk forward. Hey! Anybody see me there, kind of?
Boys and girls, if you move your body, just make sure you're down if you're up in the front area.
That went further than the arrow did, didn't it?
It's stuck up in the ground.
Add a ladder. Okay, get back on the card for a minute. Okay,
We'll look for a
we're almost
video.
ready for the next group, okay?
Stuck in the ground.
Somebody tell me one thing you learned today. Someone. One thing. What did you learn? If you twist a cattail, you can make it very, very strong. Okay, that one thing. Did anybody have any fun today? Okay, all right, I enjoyed seeing you. All right, let's go and let the next group in now. Thank you very much.
Bye, boys and girls.